detective. Thrill me.
Thanks for joining us again. Jared, you've picked this one. Wouldn't call it a horror film. Call it more of a thriller.
Yeah.
Old school. First film from a young Steven Spielberg. It's 1971's Duel. But before we get to that, Jared, what have you been watching? I obviously received a few messages from you during the week, and holy shit, it sounded like life wasn't worth living.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good week. Namely, thanks to one series of movies, but we'll get to that. I kick things off with Invaders from Mars.
Oh, is that the Toby Hooper one?
Yeah, the Toby Hooper canon picture.
I believe that was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was okay. It started off really cool. Like, there was parts of it that I really enjoyed. And it had, I think it was Stan Winston on the effects. So portions of the effects look all right. I say portions because there's a couple that are a bit shabby, don't quite work out well. But it was fun.
What was that, early 80s?
86.
86, okay.
It starts to come apart a bit towards the end, but the whole alien invasion thing from the kids' perspective it's got some legs.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some more sort of current cracks at stuff like that.
Okay.
Captain America Brave New World.
Ah, yes. Harrison Ford looking heavily disinterested.
About he's okay.
Happy with the paycheck.
Yeah, we know that's all he's there for now. I mean, he's fucking made he's made it very clear that he fucking detests turning up for Star Wars or Marvel, any of that shit. He could not give a fuck. And the only way they get him through the door is they drop larger and larger bags of cash. And Harrison says, "Oh fuck, if I have to." So, but it's not all at it's not all at his feet. There's things to like about it, but it's just a little bit hollow overall.
Does it feel a bit weird with a new sort of Captain America?
Not really. I mean, that happened in the comics a decade ago now.
Right.
So it's kind of just they're following stuff that's already been established.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have an issue with that. I
like Anthony Mackie as well.
I think he's a good actor. He's got a sidekick that they've got a reasonable chemistry, but it's just a bit hollow, bit bland.
It's doing okay box office wise, but nothing. No, spectacular.
I think we've hit this point where Marvel's just like, not everything's going to make $1 billion now. Like,
yeah,
we've hit that point. So yeah, and then Adam, we must talk about it. I wandered into the Nemesis series.
See, when you said I watched the Nemesis series, I was like, "There's a series of these movies?" Because I thought there was only one.
I wish there wasn't. So the first one, I don't think the first one's great. It's okay.
That's Oliver Grenier.
And Oliver, it's a lot of acting for Oliver, which is not, he's in the Dragon Wilson category where even the Van Damme category where you don't, that's not what you're in there for. But it's got touches of sort of Terminator, touches of Blade Runner. Like, you can see the interest in it. And it's got some good actors that pop up for small parts. Tim Thomason. I love Tim Thomason.
I love Tim Thomason too.
In anything, you'll have Tim Thomason, except Nemesis 3. But yeah, it takes a turn in the second one.
Still Oliver Grenier?
No. So this is where we move to. Her name is Sue Price. She's a bodybuilder. She was a bodybuilder.
Oh, yes.
So they completely changed tack, and the second one becomes like a sort of Terminator / Predator, but with cheap locations and lots of desert because it doesn't cost anything to film there.
Yeah, I mean,
she does a lot of running too.
The number of deaths on location are like 10%.
Yeah,
we can lose a small amount.
Funnily enough, Chad Stahelski plays the what they call a nebula, which is like
if only
the
you suddenly said, "Look, give the cameras to me for a second."
So as I said to you, look, I don't think Albert Pune's a bad director. I actually don't. I think he's okay, but the writing just seems to get needlessly convoluted, yet no story. Like, there's all these kind of twists and turns, but you're like, but the character's done nothing. The character's fucking done nothing.
Albert was one of those poor pricks who was like, he actually had a little bit of talent, and if you'd have given him some money and some time on a movie, like I think he probably would have produced something a lot better.
Yeah.
But he just, I mean, but fuck, he probably loved working in that environment. That was what he was good at.
Yeah, I don't know enough about him. I mean,
Down and dirty, quick and dirty.
I'm not going to say he hasn't made some bad movies because I just watched a handful of them in this series because I think he directed up to part 4. But there's other stuff where you see that there's something there. Like he wasn't just a hack.
He just found his niche, and, that just it involved hackdom.
He found his niche, which involved full moon features a couple of times.
Fucking hack. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's not. He's not. I'm not saying that. I just think
Make it out like he's a hack.
Sometimes there was points where the money was a problem.
No, yeah, but I mean, fuck, those movies were made for nothing.
Yeah, Nemesis 3.
Did Oliver Grenier return? No.
Tim Thomerson returned for this one, but this one was like, I think it seems like, so what I read was that it was shot back to back with Nebula 2, and it looks like they just ran out of money because honestly, when Tim Thomerson first shows up, they have this conversation at a Jeep. They're kind of like out in the desert, and Thomerson's got a Jeep, and they fucking stand around the Jeep and chat for like what felt like more than that, 10 or more minutes, and then it's just. That kind of goes through. It happens in part 4 too, because I think the lack of money is just like we've just got to fucking stretch this out somehow.
How long are these movies? They'd be lucky to be 80 minutes.
No, they're all 90.
What the
fuck? They should have been. Well, they're bordering on 90. They should have all been fucking 75 to 80 tops.
75 tops. You're like lucky to be feature length.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But then so Nemesis 4, Death Angel. It's a shocker, but as I fire it up, and then at the start in the sort of production credits, I see Skinamax, and I'm like, I didn't know this happened. So basically, we get through the same thing, but then this Sue Price lady who's in 2, 3, and 4 just spends half the movie in the nick. And I'm like,
Skinamax. Skinamax expects it and sees Jared.
Yes, exactly. So I'm like, okay, so for the other 2 movies, you've made an effort to sort of, she's wearing skimpy sort of clothes, but you've made an effort to cover her up. And then the 4th one, within 2 minutes, she's standing there shooting someone and just happens to let this kind of overcoat just flow open. And I'm like, all right, this is different. And then we get to part 5.
Don't say something like that was your favourite one.
Definitely the best one.
Production values and plot coherence.
But it's the same situation where there's just these rambling dialogue scenes and it's actually pretty light on the action. And
do you think they rented the Jeep that was sitting around?
I think so. What I read was that they shot 2 and 3 back to back, but by the time 3 came around, they'd run out of money. So that might explain rambling sequences of incoherent dialogue. And part 3's where Albert really discovered cheap special effects too. Like there's a lot of that going on. But part 5 was made, I think it was made in like 2017.
Jesus.
It is.
Is Albert involved in that one? No, he's not.
No.
Because he
Well, it said in association with, but it was some other fella who's written and directed it and whatever. It was super cheap. It looked like a fan film, and not a really very well made.
Not a well made fan film,
so
just a fucking fan film.
It just kind of continued this. I mean, it's got to be up there with one of the worst series to make 5 movies, surely.
Easy.
So that was an arduous kind of journey through the Nemesis series, Adam.
How do you do it?
I don't know.
I struggle. Like once it's one bad movie, I'm like, fuck, I can't watch the rest of these.
There was moments where I was reconsidering my hobbies, Adam. I'm like, should I stop watching movies? Is there just come to a point where I should just stop watching movies? Stop visiting the cinema, just cut the cord.
It's been a rough week. Holy shit.
Well, should I take up sports again, Adam?
I think so. I think so.
I mean, when you haven't been for a run in, 6 to 12 months and your legs are hurting and shit, but you think, fuck, I should go for a run in the middle of the movie. That's kind of where we're at. Like,
yeah. I don't want to run, but maybe I should.
just to get the further and further I get away from the screen, the better I'll feel.
It's probably not as painful as watching this.
No, that's right.
So is that all you watched?
That was it for me.
Holy shit.
A little bit of wrestling and shit like that in the mix.
5 fucking movies where you were just like, I cannot believe I'm watching these.
Yeah, I did.
That's rough.
It's kind of, you get in there and you just got to finish. It's like you jump in the water, Adam, and you just got to continue till you reach the edge.
Yeah,
that's sort of where
fair
I was
enough,
at. I was
fair
in the
enough.
midst.
You don't want to sit in the middle and drown.
Well, curiosity killed me. I was drowning. I was still drowning, but I kept pushing through until I found the edge.
All right, mine was a little less fucking soul destroying. I watched Hard Eyes. Obviously, we went to cinema to see Hard Eyes.
Yep.
Enjoyed it. I because of the Valentine's Day connection, I rewatched My Bloody Valentine from 1981.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it, of course. Watched the new Netflix doco series American Murder about Gabby Petito.
Yep.
That was interesting. Look, once again, the Netflix documentary machine is it's set out exactly as I anticipated it would be. It's interesting stuff, but fuck me. The family of the bloke who killed her are just as bad. Like, just a fucking pair of assholes, too. I've watched the first couple of episodes of season 3 of Reacher, back on Amazon Prime. Yeah, good stuff. Exactly what you expect. I am looking forward to him throwing down with the fucking 7-foot fucking Scandinavian guy they've got, who's fucking twice as big as Richardson.
Yeah.
Natural, of course.
Clearly
Clearly
natural. I was
natural.
going to say, I feel, yeah, definitely natural.
Yeah, definitely natural.
Naturally jabbed up.
Naturally full of roids. And the big one for me was I watched The Substance.
Oh, yeah. I need to get on that.
Holy shit, Jared. Fucking way out there.
Yeah.
Like, way out there. Has a bit of a Fly vibe. The Fly. Got some real connections to Cronenberg, like the body horror stuff. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long, but I was never fucking bored at all. It's hugely entertaining. Like, I was fucking loving it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, for the most part, you're constantly going, what the fuck's going to happen next?
Yeah.
And it loses a bit of steam near the end.
Sounds a bit like Nemesis 5.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's similar to what you were saying. Where's this going to end?
Yeah.
What's going to happen next?
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. Really interesting. Look, it's not everyone's cup of tea. I think it's pretty fucking fair to say.
Yeah.
A lot of nudity and a lot of gore.
Skinamax involved?
Skinamax not involved in this one. This is high class.
High class.
Really, really top-notch performance from Demi Moore. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins the Oscar. Fuck, what a movie for winning an Oscar for. Holy shit. Like, I'm dead serious. When you watch it, you'll be like, fuck, how did this get nominated for Best Movie? Like, it's all over the shop, but it's fucking worth a watch. So definitely check that out.
Good.
All right, that's me. Let's take a break. And here's the trailer for 1971's Duel.
Okay. You want to play games? Get back in the bus, please. Please, come on. Come on, back in the bus. Hey, stop!
Duel from 1971, directed by Steven Spielberg, who directed Close Encounters of the Third Kind, produced by George Eckstein, who produced the Fugitive TV series, And written the story and screenplay by Richard Matheson, who wrote Jaws 3D, which surprised me slightly.
Mm.
It stars Dennis.
Just bring up his top tier work there.
Well, it's the only thing I could find.
Well, he wrote a lot of Twilight Zone episodes.
He did. And he had a lot of... He was a novelist.
Yeah.
Primarily. It stars Dennis Weaver as David Mann, Jacqueline Scott as Mrs. Mann, Eddie Firestone as the cafe owner, and Lou Frizzell as the bus driver. It cost $450,000. It was a TV movie, but it was actually released in cinemas at one point and made $2,544. Now, Spielberg praised how the truck was handled in an exceptionally safe manner by 50-year-old stunt driver Kerry Loffen. Although it appears the truck is driving at a recklessly unsafe speed along the winding California roads, it is actually not going more than 30 miles an hour. To get the sense of increased speed, Spielberg borrowed the specialty-made camera car from the 1968 Steve McQueen thriller Bullet, which could lower the camera to only 6 inches off the ground. Spielberg also filmed the vehicles against a background of cliffs, which, when combined with an upward angle perspective from the wheels, created an optical illusion of much faster speed.
Mm. Did George Miller ever come across that sort of advice?
George says, fucking jack it up.
Fuck it. No, you got to go that speed.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Grant Page says, okay, so we go about 30 miles an hour. 30 miles an hour?
Nah,
Grant.
fuck that.
Okay. Is that road blocked off? No, mate, it's not. Don't worry about it. Fuck. Just drive through it. All right. Duel, Jared, your pick.
Mm.
What's your take on it?
Big fan. It's so simple. Like, it's such a straightforward, we never go into worrying about who is driving. We just treat the driver like a fucking monster. We treat the truck like a monster.
Hmm.
And it's so well crafted.
Hmm.
It's the way that it's shot, the way that, the way that Spielberg sort of takes his time in certain parts, but ramps it up and gets, really quicker cuts and closer shots and shit when it gets really tense and stuff. It's just excellent. So it elevates something that could have gone not so well into a really, really good movie. So
which could have been Trucks.
it could have been
97.
could have been Maximum Overdrive. So I 4.
4.
Easy 4 for me.
4. Big fella goes for 4. I was close. I hovered at a 4. Look, I could probably go a 4. I had 3.5 written down, but I could probably go a 4 because, again, it's very simplistic. There's not a lot to it. And what it does well.
Yep.
And that's important. We don't really even bother to get to know Dennis Weaver that well. Like, we don't go into his,
just little
his
bits.
history. We get a small amount early on, and then we just ratchet up the shit so he turns into kind of a paranoid lunatic by the end of it. And I think that that's the way to handle this kind of film. You just take the simple fucking story and do it really, really well. And that's what they've done here. It's very stylish. You can kind of see the Spielberg, what he would become, what he would go on to become. And watching this, you can kind of see how he picked up Jaws. The same thing they would have been looking for similar sorts of things, which is exactly what they got in Jaws. The same type of tense atmosphere. Real solid film, and doesn't feel that outdated.
No,
even
really.
Watching it again, I didn't realize it was made in 71. I thought it was just before Jaws, 74 maybe. So it's very old, but still stands up all right. Straight out of the gate, Spielberg's direction is top class. Top notch. The fucking bloke was 21.
He was a bit older, wasn't he?
I thought he was 25
older.
when he made Jaws.
Yeah, I think he was slightly older. I have to check on that.
Better
I
check
thought he
on
was
that.
more like 24 when he
Maybe
made
it was
this.
23, 24. Either way, that's
it's
fucking
impressive.
young to be
It's
making
impressive.
this sort of movie.
Yeah.
And he does so much with so little money.
Yeah.
And so little time. This was shot in 12 days.
And it's really clear that the direction is making this.
Yes.
Like the direction is sort of really the crucial aspect to how good it is, along with, some other parts as well. But you just watch certain scenes and it's super clear that it's very. You can attribute a lot of the success directly to Mr. Spielberg.
Yes, that's correct. Absolutely. And, you know, he showcases all those talents that kind of made him. You know, I was going to ask this question, but would we say he's potentially the greatest director ever?
He's in the mix. I mean, for people like you and I would probably say yeah.
For sure, yeah.
You know, the way that our tastes skew, and plus we're in the age bracket where he defined some of our fucking childhood,
correct,
you know, favourite movies and things like that. So, yeah, I think that
he's
would be
right
fair.
up there in the conversation because he's done everything.
Yeah.
And won everything and all that stuff. So, Dennis Weaver. Give a rap to Dennis Weaver. It's hard being on screen all the time in one of these movies, and you've got to carry. He's basically got to carry everything because there's barely anyone he interacts with.
Yeah.
Greatly.
He's the other big piece.
Yes.
I think between the direction and his performance, you're pretty much fucking 3/4 of the way there. Like, he's excellent. And I like the way, as you said, there's kind of this, even though it's super simple, there is this sort of, there are these changes to his character along the way. Like, you know, he's kind of copping it, but whinging at parts, and then he fucking starts to really lose it.
And he gets paranoid in the bar and everything. He's trying to fucking work out who's driving the truck.
And then, you know, as you said, he fucking loses it for a bit.
Yeah.
And eventually, by the end, he's still fucking lost it, but he's lost it to the point where he's like, fuck, I've just got to take this head on.
Yes.
I'm on my own, and just, I dig it.
The opening shot just sets the tone. Backs out of the driveway. It's all in the car's point of view. It showcases how we're leaving the city and heading out into the outskirts. So, you know, we get less traffic and we sort of see it all. It all kind of plays out in front of us.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that it's all sort of POV of the front of the car.
Yep.
It's just I mean, even now it's a fucking good shot.
Yeah. And it starts to, like, it's going through, as you said, it starts to show less and less civilization.
Yep.
The cars are thinning out. And then we get a bit of the radio too.
Yeah.
The radio starts to, it sounds like at one point it's like the radio's losing coverage, so they change the station and whatever. And then finally, when we throw in some static camera and we see the car drive past, it's through some barbed wire and wooden fences. So fucking, we're straight onto it. We know exactly what's going on, you know.
And some really nice kind of like shots of the location that he's in, which is kind of beautiful, but desolate.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
For some reason, I couldn't stop laughing though at the fucking guy who wants to fill out his census forms. And he's like, oh yeah, I work at home. You know, I'm the house husband. Next thing you know, he's crapping on about wearing a house coat and slippers to fucking pick up dirty clothes.
Yeah, because we start with like some sports coverage.
And the news and shit. And then next thing you know, we're over to the fucking census and how we're supposed to fill out the gear. It's like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
But it got a bit of a laugh.
Yep.
We meet the truck early. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I vaguely remember thinking, well, the truck doesn't turn up until later. But the truck's there from the fucking get-go.
Well, the
within
truck's
about
there
5 minutes.
Yeah, the truck's there from the get-go, but it doesn't get overly sinister until after the
after he's been at the made his phone call and everything like that.
Yeah. But we're getting some setup in that time. Like, we get those shots of him overtaking where you can't see anything.
Yeah.
But then he's in the clear, so he overtakes. I think it happens like twice.
Yeah, but then he overtakes, and then the fucking truck just comes barreling past him, like, just overtakes out of nowhere, like, about a minute later. You know, it's kind of like, why the fuck, how you know, you kind of that the truck's got plenty of power.
Yeah.
In comparison to his car. But it also showcases how big it is in comparison to his car.
But also,
constantly kind of seeing the size.
The first time he overtakes is really good use of what we're talking about, the direction, and he actually uses the sound pretty well too. Like, he goes past, and then we start shooting it from like the back seat of the car and the passenger seat, so you only really see Weaver's face. And then when we're in the shot of the passenger seat, the truck just comes fucking roaring into the frame. Yeah. And the sound goes from, you know, just the sound of the car to the truck. Like just fucking blasts in there.
It's like a sort of jump scare-ish type of thing.
Just fucking setting us up early on.
Yeah, really nicely handled. I really like when he pulls up at the service station, and he pulls up at one pump, the inside pump. Then the camera kind of shifts a little bit over, and then you see the fucking truck come in and park in the other one right next to him. And again, you can't see who's in the truck. You can't. All you can see is it's his hand.
Yeah, hand.
And he's trying to look and sort of, who the fuck's in there? But he's too far forward, so all you can see is the hand. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's just another really easy. It sort of builds a little sense of dread.
Yes. Yeah, and it's just super effective to keep the driver hidden. You know, there's certain movies where I would think, no, you've got to start to dig into that. But this one, it's like such a sort of contained story, and we're not going beyond the road.
Yeah.
We don't know fucking, as you said, we know very little about Weaver other than the call to the wife, which again only fills in a little bit, and it's just all happening on there. So by the end of it, just making the truck that kind of entity, I guess, and not worrying about the driver.
You see his boots
call.
briefly.
Yeah,
he gets out of the cab, but he doesn't sort of come out from behind the car.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought that was all cool.
Yeah.
Although, Dennis, like when you're making a phone call, like, don't put your foot up on the fucking... He's cracking a fucking spread.
Yeah, you're spreading out. You're blocking off bloody walkways.
Dude.
This is a fucking thoroughfare. I know we're not very busy, but the fucking principle, mate. Like,
think about it.
Yeah.
You're making calls home. You could be talking for 10 minutes for all we know. Don't fucking put your feet up.
Yeah. It's called manners, mate. Like, fucking
That's
look it
why
up.
that fucking guy wanted you dead.
Yeah. You showed poor fucking
phone etiquette.
etiquette whilst you were fucking roaring past him on the road the first time, you rude bastard. That's what you...
You're constantly fucking whinging about the guy every time you went past. He got the shits, mate.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yep. It's not long after that where... I'm pretty sure it's after the servo, isn't it? Where the truck waves him on for the first time.
And it fucking waves him into an oncoming car.
And it fucking just builds beautifully because we had those moments beforehand. So he's still pissing and moaning like, yeah, fucking, come on, Charlie, whatever he fucking says. I got places to be. And
then he fucking pulls out and almost gets cleaned up.
Yeah, when he almost dies, we get this moment of shit. This is fucking, this guy is
He's
off
it. He's not up to. He's not keeping himself together.
Which it's good, and Weaver plays it really well for them. There's a moment just slightly after that I wasn't so sure about, but he plays it really well, going from whinging kind of inconvenience to fuck, I just about died.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is where there's a period of like 5 or 6 minutes where the truck is just up his fucking ass the whole time.
And this is where we get a bit of, it's almost like Mad Max work of the cars.
The cars fucking, the truck's coming up, the way it's shot is, all through like we get close-ups of the truck coming towards the car at speed. We get fucking stuff coming from both mirrors.
Yep.
So it's almost like you're kind of Weaver.
Yeah.
The audience is Weaver because it's going around between different fucking looks.
Showing you the speedo and things like that.
And that's also when he starts to take risks. As a driver, he starts to accelerate over his fucking normal speed limit.
Yep.
Because he can't get away from the guy, and there's clearly something sinister about the whole thing.
And Weaver plays these parts where like you believe the fucking that he's scared.
Yeah.
Which certainly adds to it.
I'd be fucking shitting bricks.
Yeah. The other part that works really well too that I noticed watching it this time is that the way they shoot the roads, it just looks like there's no way out.
Yes.
Like you're not seeing any fucking turn down, just a road to turn off.
We barely see any other cars.
Yeah.
Only at one point early on in that section, we see a couple of cars coming in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But things haven't ramped up to really kind of harsh yet.
No.
So you're still thinking, well, he could, he doesn't need to flag down anyone else.
No, that's right.
But then once we get deeper out onto the road, he realises he's in fucking deep trouble.
Yeah, and as I said, the way that it's shot, it doesn't look like there's an escape to it. So you kind of, there's parts of it where you think, just fucking turn around the other way or something like that. Like, but then there's also these parts where he stops and then the fucking truck will stop or the truck will get ahead. and he fucking catches up to it, thinks he's in the clear, but then comes around and the truck's waiting for him or something. Like,
And
it does a pretty good job of making it like a situation that is hard to escape.
But also, there's no turn off roads.
No.
He can't go down this road to go to a small town or something to leave that area. It's basically he's stuck on that road.
Yeah.
Right. So he could turn back around, but the thing's going to come back after him.
Yep.
So all those things make for that sequence to be kind of tense and exciting. And again, he employs a lot of this type of stuff in Jaws.
Hmm.
Like, interestingly, if you look at Jaws, you'll probably see some very similar techniques used. When he finally gets to the cafe and he kind of loses the truck and he almost has a fucking accident and everything.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he goes to the bathroom and he fucking cleans himself up and he, says, oh, it's all over now,
Yeah.
And he comes walking back out and looks out the window and there it is just parked outside.
Yeah.
Again, you kind of get this feeling of like dread.
And it's funny, like you feel like there would be a bit of a let off.
Yeah.
But him fucking talking to himself and
questioning
going through
everything.
his head and going, I'll just talk to him and I'll buy him a beer and smooth it over and all that shit is great. Like,
Yeah.
it's really good. And it keeps you fucking ratcheted up. You're not on the road anymore, but he's still fucking tighten it up.
Yeah, and he's checking boots and he's fucking eyeballing everybody.
Yeah.
Trying to work out who's in the truck. And then he fucking has a go with the other bloke and tells him, stop.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And then they have a set too and everything. And it's clear, he's lost an understanding of, like, he doesn't know who the fuck this is. And he's now starting to lose grip on his sanity a little bit.
Yeah, he's going for the, and it's kind of another one where they put us in his fucking, in his boots for a minute. Like you're sort of looking at there's a couple of those shots where you're looking at the line of blokes sitting at the bar, and then we get a close up of one of them fucking turning around and finishing his beer while he, in his head, that part where he goes through the
buy you a beer.
and then it goes back to it's just him imagining it, and then he fucking does it again to a different bloke. Like that stuff is
and again,
super
it's sort
effective.
He goes up to the second bloke and then he stops talking because it's like, it couldn't be him, sort of thing.
It's actually like really, really effective, and I'd sort of forgotten about that scene altogether.
It is effective. It is very effective because, again, you're working with not much.
No.
Like, there is not a lot of things to do or places to go. It's very, very difficult to keep people enthralled. And we've talked about this, with these sort of boilerplate type of movies where you've got someone stuck in one place and half of them don't work because more than half of them, fucking 90% of them don't work because they always feel the need to spread the scope or bring in more characters or something. This doesn't have any of that.
No, and it really is in that same sort of bracket because, as you said, we spend the whole movie in the car with
pretty much,
Weaver's
like
character.
there isn't much.
The only difference, I guess, is that they throw it onto the roads, which gives them a lot to work with. But as we said, there's been movies that have been in that sort of instance prior that managed to bore you to tears.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Looking at you, Mel Gibson. And On the Line or Flight Risk.
Oh,
fuck, you're
God.
heavily involved.
Don't even fucking put him in that.
No, not
mention
even
in the
close.
same breath.
I also love the fact that after he has that little set too with that bloke, the guy leaves
Yeah.
and he watches him go out and he walks behind past the truck, touches it, walks around it, and then he drives out from behind it. Is that him? No, it's not that guy. Not the guy he has the fight with. Another guy. He
The other
watches
guy that he
him
was
walk
looking at
out.
the
Yeah.
boots on it, like,
And you think, fuck, is he the driver?
Yeah.
And then he drives his little car out from behind it. So I like that. Again, just keep you on your toes.
Just tightening the screws, Adam. Like that scene might be the best movie. That scene might be the best one in the movie for doing that.
Yes. I like the shot that there's a particular scene that I wasn't as big on, but there's a shot within that where the truck goes past, and then you get a shot of it coming back around and coming back underneath like an overpass,
The tunnel.
The tunnel,
Yeah.
and it just kind of sits there comes to a stop and sits there.
Yep.
And there's something really menacing about it. Like
Yeah.
There's just, and it's not a fucking. They don't even use a lot of music.
It's like
strangely enough.
it's like an animal that's like just sitting there, but you know it's going to fucking charge.
Yeah,
at some point.
like a rhino or something that's just
Yeah.
ready to go.
But then he also kind of, I like that. I think I might agree with you with the scene you're talking about, but I
Yeah.
like that the truck then comes and nudges the bus out
Yes.
because it makes Weaver look like the fucking
Yeah,
lunatic.
the lunatic. Yeah. I think that was cool. That was good because it was kind of like he even says it. The guy even says to him, "You're the only one who looks like a fucking lunatic."
He's
from
not
where I'm
wrong.
standing.
He's not wrong.
And because he's rambling and shit and saying, "Get the fucking kids off the road,"
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
So I like that. Yeah, it did. It did sort of paint him in the light of like you can't trust him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like don't help him because there's something wrong with him.
Yep.
So that it sort of plays into the driver of the truck's hands.
Which is, it just plays into this fact, this thing that we've been building up of like, you're on your own, Dennis. You're no one's helping you. You know,
I didn't mind the sequence involving the railway car where
Yep.
he stuck at the railway crossing, which I believe was actually added later.
Yeah, I think it was
for a
added after they
TV,
determined
yeah.
the theatrical was
It needed to be longer, so
Yeah.
they added a couple of sequences.
due to Europe. I think
It
it was
might
because
have been
there
the
was like a length
Europeans.
in Europe that they were sort of working with.
That's a standard thing. That's a standard type of thing that you would use, trick you would use when you're using like vehicles like this, where
Yeah.
one tries to push another one out in front of
Yep.
another car or a train or whatever. Nicely played, as per usual. So I enjoyed that. I thought that was good. Another way to keep that, because the guy's got himself in every fucking difficult spot you can get.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Everywhere he goes, it's just fucking, he's under the hammer. And it just continues to do that. I really liked when he finally he ends up at the I think it's a petrol station that's got snakes and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's
It's
out
not
in
a
the
Texaco station.
Yes.
no, it's yeah, it's like that. Yeah, it's that. She's got the bloody snakes and the.
and he's on the blower.
lizards and
He's on the
stuff, isn't he?
phone. He's in the old phone box.
Yep.
And the way it's shot is you can just see the phone box, and you've got maybe like a small amount of what's behind him in the shot, and then you just see the fucking truck come barreling into the shot like a million miles an hour, and he shits himself and just gets out.
Mm.
But I also love that the truck continues to circle.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Keeps
it's
fucking
trying
rolling
to
through.
get him. It's trying to kill him.
Yeah, and that's the first kind of moment where it's like someone else is aware of it,
Yes.
but he kind of just pisses off and leaves her in the dust, and
Yeah.
so it's still like even then she's not helping you. She's worried about her snakes.
He's not worried about the snakes and the fucking lizards and shit that are getting out. But again, it showcases that the truck has just become like relentless.
Yeah,
It wants to get him so badly that it just keeps circling and trying to kill him in that little spot. I did like the fact that he took it uphill. I thought that was a cool angle because
Yeah.
it's like, well, I can open up here
yeah,
and
yeah.
you can't. You're
Yeah.
going to start labouring. So that was a cool angle to sort of he gets on some higher ground and basically puts the truck well and truly in his dust. But we've also played the game of there's something wrong with the radiator. Like can you check the radiator hoses? Can you? He
Mm.
constantly says it during the early going about the radiator.
Yeah.
And then of course, boom, it fucking blows up on him.
Yep.
So I really like that. It nice little
And we know,
comeback.
like, even though it was kind of foreshadowed, well, not even, I wouldn't even call it foreshadowing. Was it that involves some sort of kind of keeping a little bit of mystery about,
Yeah.
about it somewhat? But it's like, yeah, we put it out there and we know it's going to come back. But even then, it's pretty successful when he plays that card of
Yeah.
the radiator sort of fucking things up.
Well, you knew, Jared, that wasn't the end of it.
No,
Like
that's right.
him getting up the hill was not going to be where it ended.
No, of course. And I
Um,
actually like leading up to that. I like the moment with the two people in the car that are like, when he's like, "Can you call the police?" And the lady's just like, "We don't want to get involved in anything." Like,
Gee, they
on.
turn tail pretty fast, don't they?
But that's the point where he's just this desperation.
Yeah.
I mean, when she says no, he's like, "Come on." He just,
I just want you to call the police.
and he cracks.
Yeah,
he fucking cracks. And that's where he starts fucking approaching it on foot. And then eventually, like, I think when he's taking it uphill, he's kind of just
and he's crapping on about, you can't get me on the grades.
Yeah. He's just hit this point of, well, it's me and you.
Yeah.
And so I've got to fucking work my way out of this, which I really liked. And as we said, it's kind of leads into that part where you're saying he's taking him uphill, he's fucking ranting, and he's kind of, he's on edge.
He's right on edge.
Yeah.
And look, the ending, the truck finally catching up to him, but he drives at it, essentially.
Yeah.
Jumps out. The truck goes fucking off the cliff, takes the car with it, basically smashes to bits. It was the perfect way to end it. Like, you had to end it that way, right? He managed to survive. The truck kind of gets what it wanted almost. And then they never explain who the guy was.
No.
They never explain it. Now, there's no need to. Because in my opinion, we've just been, wrung dry.
Yeah.
We don't really care
who
the fucking guy was.
That's not what we're looking for at this point, I guess.
There's no need for an explanation.
No.
Which is important in this particular one, because I feel like we would go overboard now.
Yeah.
We would explain who it was and what his fucking motivations were and what the reasons behind it were, and we'd have to go a big kind of like wrap up at the end. Like, just it wasn't necessary. So I'm really glad they didn't do that. That's all I had.
Yeah, that was same for me. We've covered the same ground there.
The dislikes are small.
Yeah, only a couple.
One of the things for me, and it's not a big problem, but as good as Spielberg is, and the effort that he puts in to mix it up as much as he can, there's still a bit of repetition.
Yeah,
beats the truck, stops, truck turns up again. We get a little bit of that, and that's probably to be expected because it's such a tight kind of idea.
Yep,
and doesn't impact it greatly, but you just see the repetition.
Yeah.
You see a couple of repeats itself a couple of times in that middle.
It's like you said, it's almost unavoidable when you're doing 90 minutes of a movie like this without him getting out of the car. And I think the point in the cafe is a really nice point to break it up.
Yes.
But then there's a couple of moments around that where you almost feel the issue with kind of extending it to the theatrical length.
Yes.
And I think the moment for me where that is even though it contains a couple of the real strengths, is the bus.
Yep.
It
feels superfluous and just kind of added to a little bit to give almost like, because for a second I thought, the kids were in danger too.
Yes.
We could add that to the mix.
Yeah.
But it doesn't play out like that.
It's the one part though where it feels like, to me, where you look at Weaver's character and you're like, what are you doing? Like, he's sitting there going, hey, come on, get off the road and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, all you got to say is, that truck's fucking dangerous. That truck
trying to
run me off the road, get the kids in the bus.
Yeah.
But instead, you're sitting there kind of gibbering and yabbering while the bus driver's there going, you're okay, kids, and all that sort of.
And then also, adding to that, it's like, can you give the bus a push? Well, I think it's going to get caught up underneath it. Nah, you're fucking 5 seconds later, it's caught underneath.
Yeah, that stuff was, again, reasonably successful in terms of, oh, fuck, here we go. And then the truck starts coming down.
He was kind of trapped a little bit.
Yeah, so that, it's not all bad, but it's probably just not at the quality of the rest of it. And, that's a nitpick. The way characters act, it's a nitpick. I understand they have to do these things to put them in those situations, but it's just the times when you look at it and you're so kind of clearly like, oh, why are you doing that? This movie doesn't have a lot of them.
What is it? Is it maybe a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's only a couple
if
minutes.
you lost it, it wouldn't have hurt.
No, I don't think it would have. But then, as you said, they get a great shot of
the truck pulling up. I thought that was fantastic.
Under the fucking the tunnel and everything, which is really, really cool. So,
okay.
It's a fairly minor one.
Here's a minor one for me. The opening credit font.
Yeah.
It looked like something out of fucking Bing Crosby or something. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Certainly doesn't match.
Who came up with this shit?
Yeah,
it doesn't mix at all with the whole idea of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking step above Wingdings.
They may as well just chuck Comic Sans on there and fucking use that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good.
It looked so out of
Really
place.
bad.
It looked so bad. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh my
It looks
God.
like it looks like the writing on a fucking pop album or something like that. Like it's not great. It's
Not great,
Not
not
the
great.
best thing. I think they probably could have gone with something better. Another minor
It feels like they were using that for every fucking movie on X71.
Yeah.
Probably.
Another one that's pretty minor. The overtaking moment is great, where he waves him through, but there's a car coming, and that's the first point where we realise, oh, this fucker might want to kill you.
Yeah.
And Weaver plays it beautifully, but it's like one or two shots later, he's back to getting frustrated and pissing and moaning like he's worried he's going to be late. Like, you've just almost died. Like,
Deliberately, too. The guy deliberately tried to kill you.
yeah. And then it's
I
just,
mean, that's where you pucker up your date hole and you start
Yeah,
driving
you
like
start
fucking...
tightening up.
You start driving like Mario Andretti to get out of there.
You're getting out of there. Things are really, I'm not speaking. I'm focused. I'm
No,
laser focused
you put
on
on your
getting out of
fucking
here.
aviators and you get your shit together.
Yeah. But he starts moaning again, like his biggest
He's
concern
been
is
mildly inconvenienced.
he's going
by
to lose the
incident.
account. Mate, you just about lost your life.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's probably more important.
The last one for me, look, the voiceover works mostly, him sort of talking to himself.
Yeah.
But when it first pops up, a couple of the way he says a couple of things, I was like, this doesn't sound right. He sounds ridiculous. He starts talking and I'm just like, what? But obviously that plays out better when he gets to the cafe and all that, and they use it more. It becomes a key part, right?
Yep.
The early going, though, we've spent 20 minutes in the car with him, and all he's done is piss and moan out loud. And then he starts going, this doesn't look good or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you talking to yourself?
Oh, man.
It does work out in the end, but Christ, it took me by surprise. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, is he going to talk to himself for the rest of the fucking movie?
Yeah, I'm glad they sort of righted
It does ebb and flow. Like there are periods where he talks inside his own head repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like in the cafe, but it was kind of necessary for that. We needed to know what he was thinking. We needed to build the paranoia.
That's right.
And then it drops out again, like when he gets back in the
him
car.
talking about, hey, how about we have a beer and smooth this over. I'm
this
sorry.
over.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
I love the fact. Again, this is just. There's nothing wrong with it. I was just amused by it. I love the fact he just fucking leaves his car parked in a mangled fence and fucks off to have a sandwich.
Oh, my dad. I think I got a bit of whiplash. Then he's like, fucking wanders over for a fucking turkey club.
Yeah.
You've got bigger fish to fry. Your fucking car's ruined. What
And then when he turns back up after he's had a sanger, he fucking throws a couple of palings off and just fucks off there too. Don't worry about
Don't worry about fucking asking whose property that is. I'm just driven through their fence like a fucking lunatic too. He comes flying past the cafe like he's got wings. Jesus.
I don't know why. I found it pretty funny. But especially the other part that made me laugh was that when he gets out, it's like it feels like he's been in the cafe for quite a while. When he gets out, there's still the same old bloke standing next to the car, like rubbing his neck.
Yeah. And he turns to the other one. The old guy turns to the other guy and goes, just a bit of whiplash.
That was great. That was great. I mean, I can't
Just a
imagine you,
bit of
Adam, after
whiplash.
you after you'd flown into the gates at the Belconnen Mall, just kind of jumping out of your car, going in and grabbing a cheeseburger,
and then coming back and fucking going, just driving until my car came off the bollard. Then leaving nonchalantly like nothing ever happened.
just sneaking out there, driving away with a broken windscreen. You happen to fucking run through my fence? No, it wasn't me. So good.
there's something about that was highly amusing.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
He didn't need to hit the like. Considering it was filmed in 12 days, it's probably all they had. Like,
Yeah.
Fucking stunt drivers got overboard, fucking driven into the fence. And they're like, oh shit, we got to include this.
Yeah, fucking get Grant Page out of the fucking car and get rid of him.
Well, that silly cunt who was doing fucking cartwheels and broke his leg. You know, that guy. My personal favourite. One of my favourite Instagram videos. Why I laugh at that, I don't know. You got anything else?
I had one, and again, it's a pretty minor one. It's just kind of amused me a little bit. The car goes all right without a fucking hose for a while.
I know.
As
It's
a
one of
man,
those fucking cars that doesn't need them.
as a man who has experience driving a 1970s car, mine was a 1978 Toyota Corona. My hoses were in perfect nick, and I couldn't have gone more than about 35 k's up that fucking hill.
Back in my 76 Corolla 2-door that I had, if a fucking truck tried to run me off the road, I couldn't get up to 35 miles an hour.
No way.
The thing started shaking and shimmying and stuff. I would have been killed easily.
Yeah, and I had no, like, I had my little fucking Corona would have gone up that hill, and it was an auto, so I didn't even have the option to fucking throw it down a gear or whatever. It would have been going 35 k's, and I'd have gradually been losing speed all the way up until that truck was so far up my ass. The truck would have been in my fucking passenger seat for sure. So I was very skeptical that a car with a fucking hose that was rooted was so successful at flying up there at 100 miles an hour.
And at one point, he drops it into neutral when he's coming down. He drops it into neutral and starts coasting down the hill.
Yeah.
And it shows the temperature gauge, and it starts dropping. And I'm like, that's not what happens. Your fucking engine doesn't cool down.
Yeah, again,
if you drop it in
anecdotally,
neutral.
the temperature was always fucking high in that thing.
Yeah, mine was fucking so hot. I mean, the whole fucking car internally. I mean, you could have because it didn't really have aircon.
No aircon.
But you could have all the windows down, and your fucking legs would get roasted.
Yeah. It was just the old. Yours was probably the same as mine, where you just had the fucking vent that you would open, and it's just the fucking air coming straight into the car, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine,
what did you think about?
I luckily had a choke. Those. Who supposedly would start quicker if you pulled the choke out?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to pretend
Total
I know.
bullshit.
I'm not going to pretend I know what the fucking radiator hose, the impact of that is going to be, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical.
Look, I didn't have a dislike on this one, but I thought just want to query your thoughts on it. There's a big kind of there's a few people that seem to have an issue with the fact that the truck has the big flammable on it for the whole movie, but
and they don't blow it up.
And they don't. But when it goes down the cliff, it doesn't blow up. I don't have a problem with that because it doesn't look like it's in service. I'm pretty sure the tank's empty.
I don't think the murderous prick behind the wheel was trying to get somewhere to drop the flammable liquids off. I think that that didn't matter. I thought, and in fact, I think he even sort of played with that a little bit with a couple of longer shots where it looks like something. It might explode.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, fuck, if he was in service for somebody, I'm sure they'd be saying, look, mate, you're doing a great job. You seem to be flying between towns at a fucking rapid pace, but would you mind just washing the truck so everyone can see our fucking signage?
Yeah. What took you so long? Were you fucking chasing people up and down the fucking... the car for your coast, you prick.
the old license plate on the front.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. So
that was good. It's kind of
like he's a serial killer.
Well, I didn't pick up on that the first time because I just assumed that it was like a case where
you needed
multiple. Well, you needed multiple plates because you're going cross country.
Yes. You're going through a shitload of different states.
Yeah, that was what I assumed. But then I heard. I think it was Spielberg on the DVD or whatever talk about no, they're like trophies from people that he's done this to before. So when you see that straight up with that knowledge, It was
good.
pretty fucking chilling.
Yeah,
Like
it
saying
was.
that, I was like, oof, that is a little creepy. Nice touch there, Stephen.
Very nice touch. Is that everything from you?
Yeah, that's everything. Yeah.
All right. That's Duel. Nicely handled. Now, Jared, I thought we'd throw, now that we're doing Spielberg's first movie, I believe this is his actual first movie. Is that correct? We might do a little bit of gold, silver, bronze on his directorial efforts. We will not include his producing efforts because, fuck, we'd be here all day. So,
Yeah.
without sort of pulling up stumps, let's dive into Spielberg's directorial efforts, his filmography, starting out of the gate with Duel. Gold, silver, bronze. Made the finals. Where are we here?
I reckon I'd have it a silver myself. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I would be happy to accept a silver.
You're thinking bronze?
I think a bronze, yeah. I mean, very good opening effort. Not quite the top of the top of the tree.
No.
But it's pretty damn
Okay,
good.
well, maybe, let's throw that one a bronze because I don't think the man's going to be short on.
No, he's not short on fucking
He's not
gold
going to be
somewhere
short on
around.
golds and silvers.
Hang on, I need to fucking have a place to write this down. Okay? Because I can't tell how many fucking golds, silvers, and bronzes he has. So, bear with me, everyone. Okay, so he's got himself a bronze straight out of the gate. The next one's another TV movie called Something Evil, 1972.
Still
Never
haven't seen it.
Didn't never know it existed.
Might have to scour YouTube for
Yeah,
that one.
It's probably in there somewhere. Followed up with another TV movie in 73. He was getting plenty of TV movie work with Savage.
Yep,
Also not seen.
haven't seen it.
Can't go anywhere with that.
Regionals, Steve.
Regionals.
We didn't see it. Nationals.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Fucking high school beats. High school beats. Sugarland Express, 74. I've never seen that. That's a bit of a more well-known film. It had Goldie Hawn and shit in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's any good.
No, neither do I. Well, I haven't seen it, but from what I can gather, it's probably not a medal.
Not a medal, no. Okay. So he's made a movie every year for 4 years. 75, Jaws. Gold. Without
No further.
no further
need to
fucking discussion
continue
on that. Although, according to some fuckstick on news.com, that people are saying that fucking The Meg is possibly better than Jaws.
Whoever wrote that should have been should have had their fucking credentials revoked immediately.
You know what? You're not allowed to watch movies anymore.
Well, you're not allowed to
You
watch
fucking-
movies. You're not allowed to write anything on the internet. You're not even allowed to have Twitter because you're embarrassing
Shut the fuck
yourself.
up. You're making yourself look like an idiot. Okay, 1977. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen
I
it?
still haven't seen it. I started watching it not that long ago, and I didn't finish it, so I can't comment.
I'm going to say it's a bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it's pretty good.
So
It's an interesting
I've heard.
take on, like, alien contact with aliens and stuff like that. It's an
Yeah.
interesting take.
Yep.
1941.
Nothing there.
No, Stephen,
Nothing there.
even Steven's probably not real happy with that one.
Steven's just coming back from injury and ran a lazy fifth.
Running like a busted ass,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
He took 2-year hiatus and then burst back into 1981 with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Gold.
Gold. No question.
So he's fucking come back on the scene pretty hard. Right? Pretty
Indeed.
hard. Followed that up in 82 with E.T.
Gold.
A gold.
I've got gold there.
Yeah,
for
I've
sure.
got gold there for
He's
sure.
doing all right.
He's doing all right, yeah. Yeah, he's like he's a fucking college phenom.
Yeah.
He's gone straight into the fucking pros and started tearing off 30 points a night. Yeah. Then we follow it up with, this is it's hard to give this one actually a film because this is a segment of Twilight Zone, the movie,
Yeah.
called Kick the Can.
Yep.
Due to the death of fucking Vic Morrow, I think everyone had a little bit of fucking stink from that one. So I
Yeah.
don't feel like there's any way
Well,
we can give him anything for that.
I mean, the movie's okay. A couple of the stories are all right, but I don't think it's
The one with
I don't
John
think it's a medal.
Lithgow and the fucking little creature on the wing. That's the
Yeah.
one. That's the best one.
Yeah.
Okay, so then in 1984, we go with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Where do we see this? Because I've had my problems with this one.
I still think it's good.
Yeah.
I still think some of the problems that we spoke about are possibly overdone. Like I know we spoke about the Kate Capshaw one. I mean, when I watch it, it seems like really clear that Willie's supposed to be a bit of a
pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Where would you
I would bronze it.
settle it? Bronze?
I think it's a medal.
Look,
I still think it's got some really
it's an
good
indie
parts.
movie in the 80s. You can't give it anything. You have to give it a medal. You fucking have to give it a medal, right?
Yeah.
It's
Fair
because
enough.
for nostalgia alone.
Hmm.
Okay, 1985, The Colour Purple. His first foray into serious pictures, I would have said.
Mm.
I believe it's a very good movie, but I have not seen it in a long, long time.
I have also not seen it in too long to comment.
And yeah,
so,
probably can't comment on that one.
Yeah.
So, that was one of those meets that wasn't filmed. Wind assisted, maybe.
Yeah. It was a dark match.
Okay. 1987, Empire of the Sun.
I also have not seen this in long
Another
enough.
serious picture.
Too long.
You know what? This
Too
is
long.
where he started running 400s. he done everything he could in the 100-meter fucking space.
Yeah.
He started extending himself.
Yep.
I haven't seen it in a long, long time. It's probably not a medal for me.
Fair enough.
1989, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I'm going to slip to the middle and say silver.
Oh, gee whiz.
Are you going to...
I think it's almost a gold.
Yeah.
But again, we're probably silver's fair.
Silver's fair,
Let's
you
go
think?
silver.
Okay, let's go silver. Okay, so... Silver for Indiana Jones. So the whole Indiana Jones series has managed to medal. That may change.
Well, that will change.
1989, Always.
No medals there.
No
surely.
medals there. I don't even remember that one.
Hmm.
I believe it had Richard
I don't think
Dreyfuss,
a lot of people
Holly
do.
Hunter. Yeah, I don't think too many people were. 1991, Hook.
Hook's a nostalgia one for me, but I probably couldn't, in good conscience, could not.
No, he's in a
not
final.
give it a
He
medal.
probably runs in the top 6, but it's not a medal. I think it's one of the ones where people look at as not one of his better ones either.
Yeah.
Which, that's says a lot when you've fucking done some of the stuff he's done. Bounces back in 93 with Jurassic Park.
Gold.
Surely that's gold.
Surely a gold.
Surely it's gold, yes. Schindler's List, also in 93. Had a fucking big year.
I mean, Jesus, it's not a bad year at all, is it?
You know what? I'm gonna medal Schindler's List. I think it's a really good movie. I'm gonna silver it.
Silver.
Yeah, I think it's a really good movie.
Oh, I can't comment again.
Haven't seen it in a long
No, I
time.
haven't seen it.
I saw
can't
it not that
remember
long
if I
ago.
watched it. Yeah, I need to go back and have
It's
a look
very
at it. So,
emotional. It's fucking really well done.
I mean, a lot of people would say it's probably a gold.
Yeah,
So I think silver's fair.
okay.
Just sprinkling them around each
The
category.
Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, no medals.
No medals. I
medals
did
there.
not like that, and I was disappointed in Stephen. It's the first
Okay,
time I'd ever been
okay.
disappointed in the bloke.
What have you done for us lately, Stephen?
Because what it was like, you don't have to do this,
Yeah.
Stephen. There is no reason for you to be involved.
You telling me this is like prime Michael Jordan winning championships, dropping 40s. You've turned up and seen him score 20
Yeah,
and you're
I
fucking
was
telling the
fucking
bloke on the way
dirty,
out. You're
yeah.
fucking hopeless.
I yelled at the guy on the way out.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bullshit. Okay, 1997 also had Armistead. Look, it's not a medal, and I will. It resonates with me because it's the one of the only movies I ever walked out
I
of.
recall you being very upset with Amistad.
No, it's only because I was fucking hungover to buggery and I needed to go and vomit.
Who thinks, let's go and watch a movie when
I
we're fucking
know.
3 sheets to the wind.
No.
Oh, we'll watch Amistad.
I know, and it's the sort of movie you need to actually fucking concentrate
I
on.
mean, you watched Nemesis 3
And
in
of
that
course,
condition, Adam.
I'd had a fucking big night on the piss, and I can tell you now, I did not want to be there.
So is that
And
Stephen's fault or is that
it's
your
not,
fault?
No, that's not Stephen's fault. Not Stephen's
But the
fault.
stick is still there. for you.
But it's just I can't really comment because I don't think I've actually watched it.
I
since.
don't think it's a medal anyway.
No. 1998, Saving Private Ryan. I'm gonna gold that. I think that's a fantastic movie.
Yeah. It's fair. That's a good one.
Really nails the war that opening sequence is fucking horrific. It's
Yeah.
harrowing to watch. And I think that's, the guy was at the fucking peak of his directorial powers then. Like that was just, nobody else could have done that, I don't reckon. Artificial Intelligence, 2001. Can't medal that.
No.
That's a fucking
No
Stanley
medals there.
Kubrick fucking shitfest that Spielberg picked up after Kubrick died. I remember being kind of bored by it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't, there's something about it was missing for me.
Fair enough.
2002, and this I'm gonna throw this out there. This is one of my absolute favourites of his, Minority Report.
Yeah.
Fucking
I love
awesome.
it. I think it's a great movie.
Gold.
Ooh, I was going to say Silver.
Silver.
Minority, but
All right,
I think
I'll-
it's excellent. But
I'll stick with Silver with you,
yeah.
but it's definitely a medal. It's
Yeah.
fucking.
I think
excellent.
it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I really like it.
We should cover that. We haven't done it.
Yeah, it's a very definitely did. Followed up with another one that I really really like of his, Catch Me If You Can.
Yep.
In 2002, I'm going to silver that too.
Yep. Fair.
I think it's a really
I
good
agree.
movie. All right. This is where things might get a little less, because
A little ugly.
no, well, not ugly, but it's just movies that we probably
I think
haven't
it's going to
seen.
get ugly, Adam.
The
a little ugly.
Terminal in 04.
No.
I believe it's a good movie, but again, there's a hell of a lot of finals here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies where you'd watch them again, you'd be like, fuck, that was good.
Yeah, probably.
But they wouldn't medal.
Certainly being held to a higher standard from.
War of the Worlds,
Yeah, not bad.
05,
Not a medal.
Not a medal.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Munich, also
haven't
from
seen Munich.
05, not a medal.
Okay.
Serious, a little bit too serious for my
Would be
liking.
too serious for you.
Yeah.
You like to be breezy at him.
I like it like
Yeah, with
breezy.
the hangover, you don't like to watch serious films.
Stephen, I prefer it light and breezy for me, mate. Yeah, so, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Can we take a medal back?
Maybe we should.
Yeah, no medals there.
No medals there. Adventures of Tintin.
It was
I
pretty
actually
good.
really liked that.
Yeah, I think it was pretty
And I
good.
liked the way it was done.
Yep.
The whole animated sort of stuff, and it was CGI. using
Yeah.
CGI. There was supposed to be a sequel, was there not? And then it never got made.
Yeah, I think there was probably plans to expand it into a little more.
It didn't make the kind of money they were hoping for. I think.
No. But it
This-
was, I thought it was all right.
This one's a one that I really liked. It's not a medal, but it's probably one of the last ones I saw of his, Warhorse, in 2011.
I have not actually seen it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's just it's not quite a medal, but it's good. It's good stuff.
Yep.
Lincoln in 2012.
Haven't seen it. I like breezy at him. What can I say?
Fucking, Stephen, stop getting breezy about here.
Yeah.
Lincoln, I haven't seen it either, so I can't comment. Same with Bridge of Spies.
Yep.
He took a 3-year break
Yes.
and then went Bridge of Spies. The BFG in 2016.
No
This,
medals
this
there.
doesn't
No
feel
medals.
like Stephen's bag.
Well, I actually think it does.
Well, it probably
Like
does,
that
but
sort of
maybe
stuff.
80s Spielberg
Yeah.
would have made
yeah,
this well.
Yeah. Serious Stephen is.
Serious Stephen's no, he's way off.
He's not
Well, look at
interested.
this. Look at this, right? Look at this. You've got War of the Worlds. This is from 2005 onwards. War of the Worlds, Munich, Crystal Skull, Tintin, Warhorse, Lincoln, Bridge of Spies. You've got half of them, more than half of them are serious pictures.
Yeah.
So then you suddenly got Tintin in there, and then you suddenly got fucking the BFG in there. It doesn't feel like his interest would have been there.
Mm.
Then you've got The Post in 2017. No, haven't seen it. Ready Player One, 2018. You have seen that, haven't you?
Yeah. I know some people hate it. I actually really like it.
Yep.
I think it's got touches of the old Stephen.
No medals there.
I mean, if it was personal rankings, I would probably sneak it into a bronze, but I think it's probably fair to leave it just short of that.
Okay. And then you've got West Side Story and The Fablemans. I haven't seen either of those.
I really need to watch The Fablemans. It's been on the to-watch list for quite some
I
time.
hear that's very good.
Yeah.
Look, so at the end he's got 5 gold, 4 silver, 3 bronze. Okay, that's a pretty good record. And I would suggest that there wouldn't be a movie on here where I said to myself, I can't watch it.
No.
Unless
no.
I'm pissed at it. Understand?
Yeah. Let's give you 10 beers and sit you down in front of Armistad and see if you'll repeat that comment.
Yeah. There's not one on here. Oh, sorry, there is.
Yeah.
There's not only one.
There's not one on here that I wouldn't be happy to watch, except that I've already walked out on one of them.
But I would say, from a filmography perspective, that's a pretty damn good filmography.
Yeah, definitely.
Not even taking into account the medals, because, as I said, most of them would be in the final.
Yep.
Like, you'd be looking at them and saying, well, I wouldn't have a problem with some of them possibly being medals if I looked at them again.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of important, and showcases the sort of the career he's had.
Pretty
solid
strong career.
Yeah, pretty solid career. All right. Well, that was Duel. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Podomatic, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, and Instagram at thrillmepodcast.au. Rate and review us on all the platforms if you can. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for the next film that we cover. It will not be a Nemesis movie. But until then, take it easy, everyone. And we'll catch you all later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.